then we pull out. That's how we do it. In and out. Yes, that's what taught you right.
Welcome back to my channel. It's Taylor. As you can tell by the title, this is Dating in Atlanta Part 2. I have Kelsey with me and Pauline. They were both in my Dating in Atlanta Part 1, or first video, I guess. We don't have Mariah here because she's in a happy relationship, so
She got taken.
She got taken, but I have my OGs here, so it's okay.
OG meaning like the forever single.
Leftover.
Not like I leftovers. I'm done with y'all. Okay. So I guess we can just hop into the questions.
Oh, I forgot you had questions. Yeah.
I don't have too many, so we'll just see where it goes. So the first question is good spots to meet people, funny dating stories, dating advice. This is a lot. It's more like a statement. Good spot to meet people, funny dating stories, dating advice. We'll start with the spots to meet people first. We'll just break it off in sections.
Okay.
Nowhere. Stay home. No, I'm just kidding. I don't meet people out that I actually go out with. I usually just meet people online.
I was gonna say I do, but I think it's literally about who you're with, right? A lot of times us girls, like, we want to go out with our girls. And so sometimes it's 2 people, but sometimes it's 5. And niggas don't come up to groups of 5. Oh, sorry. Men are less likely to approach you if the group is on the larger side, or if you are doing a certain thing. So like, I find if I go out by myself, or if I go out with like one other girl, then men will come up, and even if I'm not like 100% interested, sometimes they will cover the tab, or they'll send a drink or whatever. And a lot of those places end up being like, first off, during the week is better. During the week. All right, I'm not trying to expand the conversation, but yeah.
That's when you meet sugar daddies during the week.
I didn't say
was
that.
it you was telling me of that spot where like
Oh, the sugar.
Yeah.
Where?
Which one? St. Regis?
no?
I can keep going.
Yeah,
Where?
there's another one where you were like, if you're trying to find a sugar daddy, that's where you need to go.
Where?
You told me it.
The Four Seasons?
No, it was not a hotel. It was like some
House? Chops.
House.
It was house.
It was house, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tell everybody about that. The thing is, my issue with meeting people in public is that I go to girly spots that men, like single men, don't go to, like the garden room, or like during the Christmas time I went to, you know, the holiday brunches, or like the lights. Like I go to places where either girlfriends and boyfriends go to, or where you go with your girlfriend, so there's no single guys. That's my issue. So yeah.
You gotta mix it up.
I feel like
I do.
fellowship would be a place.
Yeah, I literally. You're reading my fucking mind. Oh, sorry.
That's what.
You are reading my mind.
Wait, time out. That's the place that you went to that you're like the services and that.
Yeah,
great.
so I
Fellowship. See, I knew
went
it was
there,
one of those.
but that's not the one
I was literally about to suggest that, and you literally took that out of your head.
Yeah, I mean, the place is super cute, and I feel
So
like
a lot of guys are.
No, yeah, 'cause it's a cigar bar.
it's like a cigar bar, and so like
They love it there.
You would see, and there's like big TVs for
So I'm gonna
like
be there
events
next,
and
but-
stuff.
I'm gonna be there next weekend.
But but I mean, the food was fine.
I
The
think that's what you
service
were
was
telling-
atrocious. Though.
That's the place you were telling me about. I was like, it's
I
Lloyd.
remember. Okay,
I thought it was
when
gonna
you
be
were
Lloyd.
Lloyd's, you were
Yeah.
like, oh, you told me you went. I was like, I've never been at Lloyd's.
It's fellowship.
Yeah, it's Cam Newton's spot
Fellowship.
too. That's why I'm surprised you haven't been before.
I was like, that's why I was like, it's a celebrity spot. I was like,
yeah.
and I was like, but we went to Lloyd's, and I was like, is it Lloyd the singer spot? I was so confused. It's fellowship that we were talking about.
Lloyd the singer. No offense to Lloyd. Shout out to you. Okay.
Is she 5'2" or is she 5'2"?
Or both.
Or both. Okay, funny dating stories. I don't have any.
Lately, I've been going on like first dates or whatever, and men will bring up sex or sexual things, that kind of thing. Like, and it's like, there's so many things you can talk about on a first date. Like, just so many. And it's like,
Yeah, no, that's a big turn off. I would not.
like, what makes you think that that's gonna be the reason? I feel like me personally am an empowered woman. So if I feel like that's something I want to do, then I'm going to do it. No matter, I'm not thinking about necessarily, it's about what I want to do. Literally, that's it. But like, if you're, it's forcing it. It's giving, you've never been able to get women before or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see
Like
that.
if you're like really pressuring off 5 seconds.
Well, and it's also like not the frame you put out there to begin with.
Yeah, it's like, or
if
you
the
think that's
frame
what
is
I
like-
am.
Right.
Yeah.
But like if the frame is like, hey, I just, you know, I'm really super physically attracted to you, and like, let's see if we vibe, and then we can fuck if we feel like it.
Exactly.
Then cool.
But don't act like
Right, but if you're like
Yes.
meeting on the dating
Yes.
site and or in real life, and they're like, oh, you know, like I could take care of you, and blah, which I hate when men do that from the beginning, because I'm like, you don't even know what I would need.
Yes.
But okay. You know, like if,
Very
if
well
the
said.
framework is like we're meeting to date or like to go on a date, then let's act like it. Like
yeah.
sex will fall into place if it gets there. Like it's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's very forceful for no reason.
For no reason.
Okay, so what the
You're
next?
supposed to be funny, but you know.
Oh, dating advice, that falls under the dating advice.
It does.
category.
It does.
Although, I mean, why would they want dating advice from people?
I'm gonna throw out the advice, whether I can do it or not.
Yeah.
Maybe they think that we're doing something that they're not doing because we're going on dates, but it's more so just
Okay, so maybe that's the advice. The
Yeah.
advice, I think, is don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And like, don't be afraid to have fun,
I'm
even
afraid.
if it's just for one date. Like,
I'll
just,
do none
you
of
know,
this.
like, it is kind of like
Have
what
fun,
not to
and
do.
also don't attach your self-esteem to something
Yeah.
somebody you don't even know
That's
or
the big thing,
you
yeah.
know you barely know's opinion.
Yeah.
Like, be your best self, work on yourself, make sure you're like nurturing and taking care of yourself so that when you're out meeting with people, you know your boundaries, you know what you're like, this is who I am, regardless of what they say, because men will gaslight you,
Oh,
women will,
yeah.
I'm not even gonna say just men, like it goes both ways. Like people will gaslight you and lie to you or just try and make you feel bad or try and manipulate you. And it's never that deep, especially at the beginning. Like, know who you are, stay grounded in that, and don't let it affect your overall sense of self.
So the next question is, should single men move to Atlanta to find a wife or have options?
Okay.
I mean,
See
it's
that?
a good
It was that
single man.
question. It was even the way it was formatted that like really gets me.
Yeah.
Should we move to Atlanta to find a wife or have options? You knew exactly what you want to do. You want to
Yeah,
move to
I know.
Atlanta and have options. And that's what most of this men want to do in Atlanta. So I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a great idea if that's what you want to do.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not.
She's
I'm kidding.
not.
I'm kidding. But that's
We'll
literally
be
what most
single
people do.
forever.
But you knew that. You knew that when you said that.
He did. But I feel like no one should move to find somebody. If you're moving,
Yeah.
it should be to better yourself, not because you think a pool or the grass is greener on the other side or the pool's gonna be so different, because there's gonna be shit everywhere. So I would just say don't move. And plus, we're full. Like, no.
No room in the inn.
No. What do you think?
I mean, I agree. Like, I don't think you should move to a location thinking, oh my god, that's where I'm gonna find the person of my dreams, or where I'm gonna find the options of my dreams. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if like great single man moved here. But yeah, no, don't move
That
to
part.
date.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is, why do women often choose to make lists of what they want in a relationship rather than what they bring to the table? I guess he's saying, like, why don't women tell men
How did I
what
know
they
that was
You're saying if you go on a date, like, you say, I need this, and
This,
this,
instead of
versus I'm this, this is
presenting
who I
yourself?
am.
Yeah.
I personally do that.
I just feel like
I don't
any
have a
man
list.
that wants to know what a woman brings to the table, 9 times out of 10 doesn't bring shit themselves. Like, I've just never dealt with a man that asks that kind of question that actually is worth my time of day.
I've never been asked that.
I
feel like
always
that's
get
a-
asked that a lot. Well, I don't get asked that, I've had people to like skate around.
Yeah.
Or dance around it, I should say.
I've never been directly asked. I feel like it's a Twitter topic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure it happens in real life, but when I go on a date, I'm telling you about myself. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
doing this, I do that, or I listen to the questions you ask. And maybe I don't like just throw it all out there, but the thing is, again, like you said, the type of man,
Ask that, it's just a no.
like that's not a good question. There's so many ways to find out about a girl that you care
person,
about
yeah.
without being like, what do you bring to the table?
And that's the whole point of
This
dating.
ain't no fucking interview.
Yeah, that's the whole point of dating. Like, yeah, I feel
Is to
like
find out.
men want to skip that whole like dating period. Like, people just want to
Look at
go
my
from,
resume.
from
I don't
talking to having a
LinkedIn.
wife and not like building what's not like getting to actually know someone and build. Like, people forget like that's the whole point of dating. Is you'll find out eventually if that person's the right match for you or not. I'm just like, you don't go on a date and then bring your whole dating profile and resume over and just like check the boxes. Like, I feel like people are like, I don't know. I'm just like, what is happening with our generation when it comes to dating?
People I mean, I think,
I don't think it's that, obviously it's not that serious, but
yeah, I don't know. It's never really been something I've dealt with. I mean, certainly there are some things that I look for, and there's some things I know I'm good at or not so good at, right? But like, I mean, like you're saying, it's just the point of getting to know each other. Because all of these wants or desires or needs, they're also very contextual. And there's some that become more negotiable depending on what you find out about someone. And there's some that are not negotiable.
In the situation.
But, yeah.
Like everything, like circumstances really shape
Yeah.
your needs, your expectations, everything. And yes, again, there are gonna be those non-negotiables, but
yeah.
okay.
So that's what I have to say about that. Okay, my next question is, or the next question is, if he didn't write this right, but if women don't need men, why do women date men?
That's easy. I don't think, I mean,
think
personally, I
anybody has
don't
ever said that.
I don't need a man, but I want someone to be able to share those
Companionship,
things,
yeah.
right? Like,
Nobody needs
Right.
a person to survive.
it's not about the need, but it's about the desire to be able to share the small things, the big
Yeah.
things, to be able to build some stuff together, to look forward to plans together, to try things together. Like, it's not so much that I need someone. I mean, I hung all of my paintings by myself.
I kill
And it looks amazing.
I kill my own spiders.
Yeah, with a lot of spray.
With
from
a lot
afar.
of screaming, but
There are toys.
And when you need help opening your jars,
Oh, yeah.
your girlfriends will be here.
Yeah, to help you. Pauline sent me a whole video of how to open my jar of spaghetti sauce. Because I really could not do it.
Yeah, I just don't think it's about needing anyone. It's about wanting that connection and that companionship.
It really
that
is.
partnership.
And I kind of want to go against what you said earlier. Like, I think people need people. And I think there's too much energy out here. Like, well, I don't need nobody. I don't need nobody. And you could definitely be very independent and not need a man in the sense of like needing them. But like, you want, it's like, I'm agreeing with you in saying that like it's about the partnership.
Yeah.
But even like, I feel like there's almost too much like anti-rhetoric. Like, too much like, oh, I'm a good on my own. And it's like,
I'm
exactly. And I'm very much that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
But-
be independent and still want companionship.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why people think
It's
that.
not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not mutually exclusive.
At all.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
When you have
it's
a-
exciting, it's fun. Yeah.
It is.
Too many people just date just to have somebody. And it's like, sometimes it's good to just be with your best friend, with your,
Yeah.
like, your homie. And you're like, I can't wait to get home and tell
Yeah.
you. Or as soon as I leave, whatever it is, I'm FaceTiming you and be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Like, when I tell you about
I'm that girlfriend. Bitch.
Stop calling me bitch. It really is.
That's me and my man.
Aw.
He don't exist yet, but
I know,
That's
same
me.
here. What are your non-negotiables or deal breakers up front?
I feel like you're ready for this. Someone lets you start.
You must like dogs. If you don't like dogs, then leave me alone.
Period.
And you cannot pretend to like dogs for a certain amount of time. If you don't like dogs, leave me alone.
Can you unpack that a little bit?
Where this seems.
Because this seems very strong.
So I talked about this a little bit in my life update video about how my ex and my most recent ex, broke up because he doesn't like my dogs. Or he doesn't dislike my dogs. He dislikes dogs in general.
Yeah, but like, I say this every time she talks about this.
Ooh.
She has amazing puppies. Like, they're well trained. They're little. They're not.
Y'all seen them?
They're not doing
channel.
nothing. They're really not. Like, they're really just there. She got 2 little cuties.
And he just like,
Louis a whole person.
He is a
Winston
grandpa.
likes a little more attention, but
Yeah, Winston wants to live on
even
my skin.
still,
But it's okay.
like, they're not doing anything.
And they're this big, so
Yeah.
She keeps them in a stroller. They're very much taken care of. These are luxury puppies, okay?
they are pooches. They're not dogs, they're pooches.
Okay. I just don't even see. Whatever. I don't get it.
But yeah, so he basically was just like, choose between me and the dogs, and I chose my dogs because like I've known you for 4 months and I've had my dogs for 6 and 3 years. Like,
But also the problem is that you even asked that question. Like, it's not about the longevity of
What?
It's just like the fact that you're even asking me to
why
do
would
this.
you ask me to compromise that early on in our relationship when you have made 0 compromises or haven't even
But that's
tried?
not a thing. That's not a compromising
It's not.
thing. Like, that's
No.
not.
Because it'll start off with the dogs, and then later on, what else will it be? Like, it'll just build on top of itself.
I don't know.
I'm sure.
I feel like the dogs is a really high ass place to start.
It is.
It's like
But some people
I'm
might
coming
give
at
up
the neck.
some people might give up their dog, their pet for a man. I mean, it could be. It obviously couldn't be me, but some people would if they.
I
Really,
mean, it could never be you.
my little puppers. Yeah. So.
You're kind of leaving Tux out of this equation.
Well, technically, Tux is my parents' dog.
Daisy.
Everybody says that he really is their dog. Watch me move and be like, oh yeah, I brought
Bring
Tux
it
with me. I'm like, I got 3 dogs.
Updated
Crazy.
dating profile.
Crazy dog lady. What about y'all? What are some of your non-negotiables?
There's 2 things.
Oh, I actually know what mine is.
Yeah?
No, I was thinking. Okay.
One thing I do not like complacency. So whatever it is you're doing, like, I want someone who's gonna want to be really good at it, someone who's gonna want to better themselves in it. So it's not about the degrees that you have, it's not about the industry that you're working, but it's really about how much are you investing into like being the best at what it is you can do. And when I say the best, like, I understand that, like, I don't expect you to be the CEO of whatever,
Yeah.
No.
but like, what are you doing to progress and continue that trajectory,
Yeah.
right?
Being your best year.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't like people who are just complacent in wherever they are. I'm very much attracted to people who, whatever it is they are
Go-getters.
doing, yeah, like whatever, whether it's work or even in your like social life, like why don't you branch out a little bit and try new things? Like, I
Yeah.
very much like people who, like, it's not really negotiable for me. I know that, like, I can say all I want, like, okay, you're great.
Yeah.
But if you're not that kind of person who wants to like experience things and like be
yeah.
better at like be the best version of yourself, whether like professionally, socially, and so that's a no for me.
So I have a question about that, because I feel like that's something that it takes a little bit to find that out.
Yeah.
Like, what are your like first signs of being like, okay, no, this person might not really be able to fill that requirement?
I mean, I feel like you see sometimes people are, I mean, I understand having a routine, right?
Yeah.
But like people who refuse to branch out of that routine,
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
like that becomes
Cowboys.
Stop. Yeah. No, I know exactly who she's talking about. A special someone who who always had to watch the Falcons on Sunday.
Oh,
could never,
Lord.
could never. He had
Perfect example.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking of him, but yeah, absolutely. Like
if he could not break his schedule or do anything different.
The Falcons are losing every time. Was it like
it's not just the Falcons.
Was it like-
So, like the way I see it is very much like, what is your routine like? Are you trying to meet new people? Are you trying to like take
And
advantage
try to-
of workshops at work? Are you
Maybe
Are you
skip
willing
out,
to try a new
willing to,
restaurant
like,
or a new food?
Right. Are you trying to
or
like
maybe don't work out this day so
right?
we can like
so
hang
we
out
can try something different
together.
like-
Because you ain't gonna die if you don't work out today.
Right.
You don't go to the gym, you're
You
not going
ain't
to
gonna
fucking
die.
die.
And the Falcons gonna lose. So miss again.
Regardless. So let's enjoy our Sundays.
What kind of opportunities are out there that you are or aren't taking, whether
Yeah.
professionally or socially? So like you find that out
I
like
love
not on
this.
the first day, but like pretty quickly, you know? So
do.
that's
Pauline
one-
always comes with the wisdom.
She does.
Every
because I'm
time.
old.
No, you
I'm
always
old.
have like you the best, and you say it amazing. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like damn, I'll be learning stuff from her.
So
Yeah,
that's
no.
one of my non-negotiables for sure.
What about you?
So for me, it's homophobia.
Oh yeah.
And especially when I'm gonna be real, especially dating black men, like y'all will expose homophobia like with no cause. With
Yeah.
no cause at all. And I'm not trying to make this like a whole thing, but no, like
It
I
should be a
do not
whole
tolerate
thing.
it is a whole
I
thing.
think we
And I do
talked
not
about it,
I
right?
do not tolerate it. Like not even
Yeah.
a little bit at all. I don't. So I mean I've gone on dates with men who were like actually one of my favorite first dates, we were gonna go, we didn't make it for various reasons, but we were gonna go to a drag show after because we were just having a great
That sounds
time,
super fun.
and it was gonna be so fucking fun. Like we had gotten drinks, and he was like, oh, I know this bar. I'm like, I have been going there too, and he was like, oh, they do a drag show on this day, and I was like, bet, let's go, that's dope, whatever. Men are like lately, I don't know where they've been coming from, but all the homophobic men, just get away from me. Like just don't get near me. Don't make comments like, oh, it's a lot of gay people around here. Okay. First off, why are you pressed? Like what's wrong with you?
But that's not toxic masculinity.
It is. It's like your insecurities are beaming.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She done hit the lamp.
First of all.
I do not mess with that at all because like I mean I want to go to the nail salon with my man and you want to get some clear polish, go ahead. You want to get some real polish, you can. Oh, I think it's just like we're all people. We're all, at the end of the day, like it's really not that deep.
Yeah.
And so like liking who you want to like, being with who you want to be with, expressing yourself, and that doesn't mean it's just very important to me. You saying things like, oh, you're around someone that's gay, you feel like, oh, well, I don't want to be.
Okay, another one is, which we were talking about earlier, would you date someone if they, or do they have to be the same religion as you for you to date someone? For me, no.
It's so
No.
funny because like as I was thinking of my non-negotiables,
They gotta go to church.
I was like, is religion one of them? And I'm like,
It's not for me.
I don't.
I actually prefer someone to not go to church because I just feel like the men that are the diehard Christians that go to church be the worst ones. They be so
Sexist.
yes, they be they be the
Toxic,
homophobic ones. They be the sexist ones. They be the I'm holier than thou ones. They
Manipulative, gaslighting.
be gaslighting. They'll be
No, we're hating on
they be posting scriptures on their Insta story and not living
Fucking
it.
bitches the same next night. Like, I don't know what
And
else.
not living up to that in real life. Like I've dated 2 men like that, and I'm just like, y'all aren't giving what you said you would give. Like y'all
Yes.
aren't giving it.
If you want to practice your religion, have no issues with that. I grew up in a very conservative home.
Yeah, same.
Very, we
That's
but
probably
we,
why I'm like
you know,
that.
and so it's very easy to spot.
Yeah. I
when you
have
just
a
doing
radar.
it for a reason. And also, like, we're not stupid. Like, y'all be going to church to find bitches.
Okay, Lauren.
And fuck half of them.
Lauren.
Y'all be in the Bible saying,
From
like, "Ooh,
Insecure."
girl, I heard your prayer requests. And it really touched my heart. And I was wondering if you wanted to get some coffee after this.
or
Right.
bubble tea.
Bubble tea.
From you.
In my home. In my bed. Get the fuck.
Bible study at my house.
God said, Jesus went, okay, close the Bible.
Let's go.
Netflix or chill.
I identify as like agnostic. So I would be fine with someone from any religion, but I also am not interested in someone trying to make me become a member
Religious.
of their
Believe. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
belief system, right? Like
Agree.
I mean, I'm not saying I would want to learn about your
Yeah.
religion and your traditions and
Yeah.
you know your
but I was like a
rituals.
culture.
Right.
Culture, yeah, that's different.
And I could maybe even come to like some of the
If-
bigger events, but I'm not.
I just love the way you word things. Sorry, I just
You're so
some of these.
so correct, so politically correct.
But it's
Well,
not
because I
But
don't
it's
know.
so-
Like, I mean, if it's Christian, it's gonna be like
Christmas. and
Christmas,
Easter.
but if you're Jewish, it might be Rosh Hashanah,
Yeah.
or if you're,
Hanukkah or
you know, like I'm not gonna do Ramadan, but I would want to learn about, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so I would be extremely open to date someone from any religion, but I don't want them to think
Yeah.
they will
Change me.
convert me into their religion.
Yes,
like
it
I
is
will
true.
be supportive in whatever it is you believe, but I also want you to respect that
But I'm
I
not
may
gonna
never
believe.
that.
I
Yeah.
will support, but I may not believe.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
and that is okay.
Respect is important.
Yeah.
And I think that should go for all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good segue. How do we feel about interracial dating?
Oh.
You know that we. I'm definitely for interracial dating.
What did
It
you
just
say?
has. I said I'm
Oh,
definitely
you are,
for it.
okay.
I just haven't had much success in like making it to the parents' house. What about you?
I date everyone. Oh, that sounds bad. But no, I date all sorts of things. Yeah, I've definitely, and I do not dislike interracial dating, but I don't like dating a specific race.
Oh,
Yeah.
same.
So
I
there's
hate
these
that.
are two different things.
I
So
hate
you
that.
can date different people. I think that's great.
Even men like will tell me they're like, oh, I only date white women. Like
No.
black men might tell me like,
Yes, no, they
oh,
love
I
to do
only
that.
date
Yeah.
like white. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
No.
No.
And that's the
It's
problem.
a fetish at that point.
It's a
Yeah.
fetish, exactly.
Yeah, I can't.
And honestly, it goes both ways. Like
Yeah.
I've occasionally, like I've dated some different white men. I've dated, you know, whatever. And I remember one time I was dating, and I wasn't like hooking up with people, but I was just going on dates, and I could see the difference between a white man that was like
Serious.
clearly interested in me
Right.
versus one that was just like a serial black girl dater,
Yeah.
trying to call me queen every 3 seconds.
That's happened to me, or like I want to be the first
Okay.
white guy you ever
Oh.
sleep with, or you kiss, and I'm just like, what is happening?
Or the whole like,
This
have
is
you ever
weird.
dated a
Just be a
insert
person.
race
Yeah.
man? And I'm like,
be a
who
person.
cares? Yeah.
Now, if I go on a date with someone that's not the same race as me, I will say like, have they been in a relationship with someone outside of the race? Because I can kind of gauge if they're using me as some type
Yeah,
of fetish,
I
or
can
if
see
they're
that.
like actually
That's fair.
been in a relationship with
Yeah.
a black
And
woman
I
before.
absolutely knowing who you date, I absolutely understand that.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, because I've done
That-
been tricked before.
Yeah.
Or are you
Because-
just using me?
Because it'd be a whole fetish. It's
It
weird.
is. It's so weird.
But the sad part is like, so I date men from all kinds of races, but I've been in a situation before, and you know that, and I'm
Yeah.
but like me being a white, that man was black, and me being a white person was what. I mean, maybe that wasn't the only issue, but that was one of the biggest
That's
issues in
the
our
main one,
relationship.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like he just couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. He was like,
Which is so sad.
as
like,
much as I want, like as much as he wanted for things to work, like it just couldn't get over that like barriers that society, you know, kind of
yeah,
creates.
Yeah.
and that's what I'm gonna say. It's a lot of outside influences.
Yeah.
Mhm. You got to be ready for that. It's got to really be your person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think like really just the biggest red flag is not being open to meeting anyone in your own race. Like I think that's bad
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
if you're
yeah,
not, if you're
definitely
like,
not.
oh, I don't date black girls, or I don't date Hispanic girls, or I
Yeah.
don't date white women, that's weird.
That's weird.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
really
you
weird.
came from
Your mama.
your mom. Like,
The categorical
Her
is
vagina.
just not a good. It's not
Yeah.
a good sign. Like,
No, because it's just like the whole point. We're all people.
mm-hmm.
We just have a different outside. That's it.
Yeah.
So find the person for you,
Yeah.
regardless of what package they come in.
Period. Period.
package. I like that.
Package. Okay. Do you define expectations before, like, going on a date, or just go into something open? And she said specifically when you meet someone on the apps.
I'm not sure I followed the question.
So I guess she's saying when you meet someone on the app, do you go on a date and you define I don't know what she means by define expectations, or do you just go in with an open mind, or do you have something like set in your mind that you expect to go down? I don't know.
Like, do you mean like
Did
sexually?
you go for or go into something open?
I feel like she means like,
I think she just means in general, like
General,
a mindset.
yeah.
Like when you go to a first
or
date,
like have
you say,
like a checklist.
Yeah.
Like he's tall, he has a good job. That's all mine.
run him down, let him know.
He's got a 401k. Just kidding.
That part.
Got
That
a
part.
car, house.
That part.
He likes dogs. So, I mean, for me, no, I don't go. Okay, that sounds bad. I don't go in with an open mind 90% of the time.
I thought you were about to say you don't go in with a list.
The other
And
way.
I was like,
I knew y'all about to talk some
I was
shit.
gonna be like Taylor.
No, I don't go in with an open
We can
mind.
edit this part out, but that's a lie.
I do not go in with an open mind 90% of the time. If it's an open mind, it's more so that I don't even want to be there. But it's that's not even open mind, really. It's more like I'm numb. So yes, I have my expectations, and at least I'm honest with myself.
That's true.
I know how I did.
How you
and that's
should. What did
fine.
we just talk about? Being who you are. Not letting people
Own it.
Own that shit, girl. Own it.
Which is why I'm single. Don't do what I do.
On that list.
She be having a man every other month. Well, no. She be having a She be getting the mans. She be getting all the mans. The rich niggas too. Sorry.
From house.
She ain't never broke. She ain't never dated no broke nigga.
See, I need that on record. But they be the wrong ones too, so.
I unfortunately have a really bad symptom of just, well, I should at least see if they're gonna be okay.
That's not bad to me though. That's going in with an open mind.
I go in with a very open mind, but sometimes my mind is
with
too
no
open.
list.
No
And I'm
list.
just like, what do y'all talk
Just
about?
vibes.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? I'm the same.
I talk about what?
the same.
Oh,
way.
Y'all do the same.
Yeah, we talked about
We
this
talked about
before.
this last time. Me and
Yeah.
Mariah
At
were
brunch,
like,
we did.
yeah.
We did.
no, we did it in
At
the
the-
first
yeah.
video. We said,
No,
because I
this
was
is
like, what do
nice.
y'all talk about? And me and Mariah were like, we definitely come in with a list of like
I don't
expectations, and y'all said you
But that
don't.
feels like an interview.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
Well, I don't pose it as an interview,
No, I
but I
understand.
have a mental.
Meanwhile, that's what she does for a living.
Right?
She's like, I'm not interviewing them.
But in my mind, I'm like, got it.
Notes.
I mean, I
Voice
think
memo.
any dates is like a form of an interview, but like I don't go in with a list of like I need to find X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
out. Like I very much go and be like, and I think and I tell you that sometimes like when I leave a date, my only question is, do I feel like I want to see them again? Like that's the only thing. Like.
Again, she just be mad magician
Yeah.
with the
No,
words.
but it's like I tell you that, you
No,
know.
you do.
Yeah.
And
No.
then you're like, do you want to see them again? I'm just
That's
like,
the only thing. Like,
No.
you're not having enough fun to see them again. And if it's a yes, then by all means, like, continue communicating. If it's a no, then like, cut that shit out. There's no point, you know?
but sometimes you'd be like, well, why don't you want to see them? Because my explanations be like,
Well, that goes back to the
Hey,
list.
I ordered green beans and
This man showed up. He was supposed to be 6'2". He was only 6'1".
literally.
I'm so mad. I'm deleting the app.
okay, y'all have to play me like that.
Taylor, that might have been you. That she might be.
she's on something.
No, it's no. You know your boundaries. You know your expectations. You know what you want, and I honestly, I always applaud you for that because I be letting shit slide that I don't need to like things that I know bother me, and I'm like, well, but they were really nice when they did that, and they'd be a whole bad person.
Well, and sometimes
And I whole month will keep dating them. Like, what? We were there, and I really enjoyed my steak. Or
even the steak is one thing, but what about the man on the other side of the
I'll be like,
exactly.
look at my notes. I took the notes. You didn't look at my notes.
But I mean, it's the height, or sometimes it's just the vibe. Like you were asking me earlier about like this guy from Zoom, and I'm like, there's not really any explanation. There's nothing wrong. There's
It's
just
just
nothing
not for you.
there. You know?
I literally just went on a date kind of like that. Like the guy was so nice. And we had a great conversation. Probably to him it was like weird that like now I don't want to hang out, but I was like, I just knew it just wasn't it.
That's a hard thing.
It wasn't one.
Okay, you want to ask now? So
Yeah, I can answer it.
Because these are already written
What
down.
was the question?
How do you, when you first start talking to a guy, like especially somebody you've never met in real life, only online, so either IG or one of the apps or whatever, do you prefer to have like a lot of like talking prior to meeting up, or do you prefer to just like make a date and meet them there?
Make a date, because
Yeah.
if I talk too much, I will talk myself out of going. So I need you to ask me quickly, because you got a small window of me actually being open to going out with you. So I like it when men are like having a plan.
You feel the same way?
I like a plan.
So there was a guy that like, one, he already kind of was counting himself out, because not counting himself out, but like I don't really like dating younger men, just because even though they might feel like they're more mature than the average younger man, they are not. They just aren't, and it's not your fault. You're just gonna have to learn. I mean, it's just life.
I don't really want to teach you though.
Well, exactly. And I'm not your mom. I'm not gonna do that. And I'm not trying to be rude, but it is what it is. But either way, like, okay, so you pressing me. Oh, you're not giving me a chance because you don't even know. Well, I got this job. I'm doing this. I'm like,
What do I got to do with me?
thank you. I was like, that's not the reason. It's literally you are this age. I'm not interested in that. But whatever, fine. Okay, you want to do something? Let's hang out. I was like, well, you haven't asked me to go anywhere. You haven't, said let's go to dinner or something like that. Well, I usually like to like get to talk to people, like get to know
That's
you.
the point of a date.
Right.
Is getting to know people.
I don't have time for that. Like, not even. I'm busy. I don't know.
No
Like,
one has time to text people all day.
I'm not in college. Like,
And
you're not in
vibe is
college.
different in person.
Not that young.
And then
And
like
so
the
much
whole-
is
Exactly, the vibe is different.
Yeah.
Everything.
So
like,
much is misconstrued through text,
Yeah.
and you be guessing how. Yeah.
And I was literally like, oh, and I was like, oh, well, I guess like we just different then. Oh well.
The worst part is
I was like,
when
oh,
they
damn, that's not
actually
even really for
ask
me.
You out, but they're like, when can I see you? Bro, when you make a fucking plan. I don't know, ask me out on a certain time at a certain day, like,
When you gonna let me take you out?
oh.
When you gonna ask me?
I mean, but seriously though, like you're acting like I'm the one who's like
Yeah.
busy and like has to find time. You're the one.
I mean,
Yeah.
I am busy and I had to find time. But my thing is like, it's really hard for me to work with something that's like really abstract.
Right.
Like,
put something
say like,
tangible.
oh, I can do Wednesday and Thursday. Can you do that?
Yeah.
And then I'll be like,
Put
all right.
something out there.
Yeah. And I'll be like, oh, I can do Thursday at this
Yeah.
time.
Even when are
Or
you
actually I
free?
can't. But I
Well,
can
how
do.
about exactly.
Even when are you free this week? Like,
Right.
just ask me when I'm free.
But the whole like,
Don't be like,
when are you gonna let me see you?
when can I
Motherfucker,
see
don't
you?
know.
With no type of time frame.
Oh my god. Man.
That's annoying. Okay, the next question is, would you date someone with a child? Not seriously. That's so bad. I wouldn't. Not at 27. I've dated guys with, well, not many, but I have dated a guy with a child casually. But would I ever be in a relationship with someone with a child? Not at 27. I'm not there yet.
That's definitely something I would have to like
Consider,
now,
yeah.
right? Like I'm about to be 36, and so the man but yeah, like so now, and age for the most part, I've only dated men that were like my age or older. But I'm not close to like I used to be close to like I didn't want to date anyone younger. Now I see my friends with their younger men, and I'm like, you know what, this may work after all.
Well, my thing is, I'm
So
36. and I got a 32-year-old man, keep your mouth shut. Because that's what's going to happen. It is what it is.
But that's not even
That's
crazy
not
to
weird.
me.
No,
It's just
like,
like
even in their 20s,
a 20
you know?
fucking 3-year-old?
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
Get away from me. I'm sorry.
No, I can't do that.
Bless your heart. I love you.
Can't do that.
Support
I
you.
ain't trying to teach you how to do
Please
nothing.
get away from me. I'm just
Like,
can't. I can't do anything for you.
I don't want you to teach me how to do stuff. I don't want to be teaching
Teach
you.
me.
But
Pulling out
generally
my,
speaking, though,
pulling
like,
out my tricks.
Teach me.
but yeah, like, just I guess just because of my age,
sorry,
like
so
I've been
crazy.
around.
I'm so annoyed with me. I hate doing this stuff because I get so annoyed with myself after. I'm like, who do you think you are? Stop.
I've just had to deal with like men. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just becoming more and more common
Yeah.
for men that I end up dating for them to have kids at
Yeah,
this point
yeah.
because of the age that we're at. I mean,
I'm not against
preferably,
it.
it's not really my. I mean, I feel
not
like it's not my
preference.
preference,
But
I'm not opposed to it. Like,
I honestly could see myself really loving a man that has like a little girl
I could
somewhere.
see you doing that because you're so good with kids. I'm like, fuck
She
them
loves
kids.
saying that.
She is.
She loves
She's
saying
so-
that.
You are good with kids. You're so kind and gentle. And you're so nurturing. I'm like, fuck them kids. I'm not like that at all.
I do low-key get soft around them.
She's so
Aw.
sweet with kids. I'm sweet with my friends' kids. But
That's
it's-
so crazy how you say that.
You
every
are.
time.
You're really good with kids. You'd be a great mom. And I could see you being gentle with a guy's kid.
I would love that. I think
I would hate
low-key,
it.
I think I would like it.
but I think it
I
would
would
only
hate it.
Because then you
work-
get to throw it away. Not throw it away. Okay, that's the wrong word. Give it back to its mom. That's the thing I wouldn't really want to deal with is the mom. I would hope that
Yeah,
it's
I
with
don't
the
wanna
mom
do
that's
baby
like
mama drama.
has
It would
moved
only-
on.
yeah, it would only
They
work.
have another
Yeah.
husband or something like that. I mean, because honestly, I'm just not the beefing type either.
Yeah.
I would even mind being cool with the girl. Like I would love
Right.
to.
I mean, you would have to.
I would love
You
for
would have
her to
to.
have a new
I don't
man,
want none of this.
and maybe like we have a really nice relationship.
But I think even if they're not,
But I don't know how realistic that is.
even if the mom is not dating, like
I'm
you
like-
would have to make it work with the mom.
Yes, of course, of
But
course.
like, but I think it only works if the mom and the dad have, if you're in a straight relationship,
resolve.
like if they have like a clear understanding of like, okay, like if they get along
Yeah.
and they can rely on each other and the kid knows like that he's
Supported all the way around.
They're supported like no matter where they go and like you just become one more person to add to that support.
Yes, that's
But, yeah.
ideal.
Yeah, that's
I don't
ideal,
want
but
that.
it's not.
And then I don't have
I don't
to
think it's
birth
that
it
easy.
either, too. Like, you know.
I just
I
want
don't
to
want to go through a whole
one kid.
situation.
Maybe when I get in my 30s, like I could see my maybe. I don't know.
I don't think you're gonna change your mind.
I'm not.
Again, you have your things, and that's good because you know it, and you're grounded in it. That's,
Yeah, but I don't want to be like stuck in it and then end up being like
Missing out.
missing out or end up like
But
we
I
won't
do-
let you do that either.
But I
though,
also
to
do
some
think
degree.
that it's different, like at your age than it is at mine. Like you know, I never thought of dating someone with kids when I was in my 20s. Like that was
Yeah.
just not even. That was not even a
It's
thought.
like why?
But now it's like, okay, well now I have to like
That's
actually think about this.
Why?
Also, 20-year-old dads are different than fucking.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't even think
that.
about it like that.
I'm
Oh.
sure.
So, I mean, even in my scenario, this man is definitely 33, 34,
Yeah. He's
33,
So still
34.
younger.
Would you do long distance dating?
Oh,
For
no.
me, no.
Yeah, I don't want it.
I like to be drunk and come home to my man. And I
Period.
can't do that
If you run in here.
LA.
You tried the LA thing too.
I did. and that-
You did.
that was- I did. Okay, guys, I went on one date with this guy. Let's not make it seem like it was a real long distance thing. But yeah, and it ended up terrible. I talked about it in the first dating.
Yeah.
Part in the first Atlanta dating story about how he faked having cancer. But okay.
Link in the caption.
Link in the description.
If you ain't
box.
seen the first one, look at it again. Sorry, in the description box. Link in the description box.
Yeah.
Like, comment, and
Oh
subscribe.
my
Like,
god.
comment, and share.
Oh, and share.
But yeah, I can't do long distance. It's just unless you're planning on being with, like, moving to that same city eventually, I just feel like it'll eventually fizzle out. Unless you're, like, unless y'all met probably in the same city and then y'all had to move.
You already had an
work.
established
Yeah,
relationship,
yeah.
and even then it's hard.
It's
but like
hard.
as we get older, I feel like I can see it working more.
Yeah. But I definitely think you probably would have to have, like, an established relationship prior to that.
Mature people.
Yeah, and be mature.
And you also need like a very keen sense of communication.
Yes.
Like you have to
That
be
part.
very transparent with each other. Like from prior to moving or
And men
from
don't got that.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. The right one will have that.
Wow. that was
You believe this
insane.
so believable.
I really fooled y'all there.
When I was talking about the younger thing earlier, like technically that was long distance if you call it a relationship, far away. Or they moved away from Atlanta like really right after we started dating. I actually have a couple of that. But my thing is, it's fine as long as you're not like, it just depends on what your expectations are for the relationship.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just, we were enjoying each other's company and it was really good. It was almost like a friendship that, you know, was a little bit more, but not really.
I'm
And-
not really good at the long distance. I know.
It really just ends up being friendship. I think if you're
Yeah.
wanting more than friendship, it's
You
gonna
need to make
end
a
up
plan.
bad. Yeah.
You need to make a plan so we can be in the same.
You need to
space.
again be very much communicative about what you want
shouldn't,
to
like,
do.
leave without a
Have
plan
a
to
schedule
see
of
each
some
other.
kind.
Yeah.
But if it's not that, or if it's just casual, or you know, not even casual, like you want to get to know them as a person, and it's not about the destination of the relationship or the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's not about like where you end up. Then get flued out. But
City girl shit. You know how that shit goes.
I'm a motherfucking city girl.
Period. Would you move for your boyfriend prior to
Nope.
an engagement? No. That's a hard no. I would not do that. Not without some type of commitment.
Yeah, I mean, and even if the
I do
commitment-
think you need to move in with your significant other before getting married, for sure.
Yeah,
But
same.
I would have to be really close to getting engaged. Like, I would be like, oh yeah, we have a trip planned to Paris. I know that he's about to propose. We can move in now. I would have to be like, y'all would have to be giving me subtle hints or something. I know you did, yeah.
I mean, I didn't
I like
move
living
for
with
them,
a man.
though.
I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
The right man is nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
I've never
I like
lived
it.
with, so tell me what I'm doing wrong. I've never lived with someone. I've never had a man to ask me to live with them.
I
Because
lived
I've been
with
breaking
two.
up with them before. It gets to that level.
No, but it has to be the right one, I think. Like, they're definitely like,
I guess I don't
even
know.
spending time with some men more than a day. I'm like, oh
I
my
guess
god.
I am a
If I
lot.
live with him, I would die.
I guess I am a lot more stern with my boundaries than I think I am, because that, like, living with someone hasn't even crossed my mind yet.
You also very much in routine
But there's
too,
also,
Taylor.
like,
you have a set.
But there's situations that also
No.
call for it. Like, I don't know, like the times that I've moved in, so I moved in with two of my partners in the past. And I mean, I certainly was in love, but also there were some logistical things
Yeah.
That made it made
that
sense.
made moving in together
Exactly.
like
Makes sense.
easier, right? Like
Yeah.
it made sense, not just because we loved each other, but and I wasn't engaged with either of them, but like I don't know, like the situations just made it so it made more sense. Like I was never at my own place, and when I had to decide whether I was going to renew that lease or not, like it wouldn't make sense. Like I was always at their house, and
You were just at that comfort level.
yeah, it was like
it
we were
felt
great.
natural.
Like we were great, and we weren't talking about getting married, but I felt safe in those relationships, and at the time it was enough for me. Like I didn't need a ring. I didn't, you know, to
Yeah.
me it was just like, okay, well that's just another way of like finding out about each other and
Yeah.
whether or not we're gonna.
a good match. And I think you hit something key there when you said feeling safe.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know that I necessarily ever felt safe in the relationship, but it was like, no, it's what it is. I'm sad about it no more. But you know, but that was my best friend. Like that was like my person that hurt, like, you know, whatever. And so I wanted to feel that safety, and we did feel very comfortable around each other. But when it came to like the relationship as a whole, especially looking back with perspective, like that wasn't a like it was to some degree a little bit volatile. We didn't argue a lot necessarily, but there were just things that I never felt 100% secure there.
I don't know.
And I think safety helps.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly felt safe in those relationships, but also, like I said, there was like logistic stuff. So like between my lease, but then I know like at least with one of them, I mean, my visa was gonna expire. Me moving in made no difference on my visa, right? But it was like, if I don't find a job in within 90 days, I have to leave the country.
Yeah.
So am I gonna sign a whole new lease? Or am I gonna...
You don't get a fiance.
Or like, am I gonna...
Not on this season of 90 Day Fiance.
Or am I gonna move in with him where, you know, like I feel secure, we're happy, we're
You
in
have
love.
something you can even say.
We can build, like, actually, hopefully it will bring us closer. And then if my visa doesn't pan out and I have to leave, then like it's, you know, I don't have like all of this extra.
That's definitely
no.
Like, there's,
It's
like,
a.
different things, but, like,
I guess I've never come to the point where any of that has ever been a factor. So I can stick with I want to get engaged before I move in. So yeah.
I don't
But
think I do.
also-
I don't think I do though. I actually think the opposite. I don't want to get engaged first. I want to move in with you before I get
same.
engaged.
But I also grew up in Europe, and
That's
so now
way
engagement are becoming a thing, but it's kind of new. Like people,
But I feel
you know,
like
becoming more Americanized in that way. But
But I feel like I don't mind being engaged, waiting to be engaged to move in with someone, because you have spent already so much time. You know how that person lives before you're even engaged. Like I know how all my exes live, and hence why none of us are together. So, I mean, I guess it's just a personal preference, or how things pan out.
I mean that's fair.
Check out next season and see if I'm living with someone or not.
But for me, I think it makes more sense to move in before you make the commitment, because if you make the commitment and then you move in,
you can break off an engagement.
but that's a whole different look.
Well, you know, I don't have no problem with that.
True, because you're not married till you're married, and I absolutely believe in breaking up an engagement that's not right for you.
Yeah.
Because what's worse, breaking up an engagement or breaking up a marriage?
Yeah,
like,
no,
I'm not
I
gonna marry you if I already know there's issues. Like,
No,
that's
I
weird.
agree.
And for me, I've spent so much time at my significant other's place. Like, I'm gonna know how
But
they live.
okay.
And I think that
I'm
just
gonna put you on
depends.
blast.
Well,
But, not in a bad way.
What did I do?
Not in a bad way, but like, okay. So if we're talking about boundaries and we're talking about commitment, we also have to acknowledge that like you spend a lot of time at your significant other's place, but you also tend to do that a lot earlier than I do, for example.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're very comfortable doing that early on in a relationship, whereas for me,
You're like, you don't have to hang out with
like,
him all the
I'm
time.
gonna
Like,
build up to that,
I'm
right?
like, what do you mean?
So, and it's
By
not
the time
right
you
or
get
wrong,
there,
right? Like by the time I get there, I'm like, I feel that safety and that security. Whereas
For me,
for you, it's like I'm
feel
gonna
off
find
the
out
bat.
as like you know, like you're gonna do that process as you like spend that time. For me, it's a little different, and so I think at the end of the day, it's not that different in that like we want to be able to spend that house time together.
It is.
Before a commitment.
Different ways of doing the same thing, really.
Yeah.
So,
you
like,
just take different avenues.
yeah.
Will you be like at their house very early on?
I do.
And I'm not comfortable doing that.
And we were talking about non-negotiables earlier, but like, what are your things that are like, ooh, sorry, even better.
Ding, ding, ding.
What is your sign that you're in love?
Oh.
Like, what is it like, oh, somehow you like, something about, even internally, like, oh, I thought this, or I did this, like, damn, I must really love this man. Like, what is it?
I know when I'm in love, when like when y'all were talking about safety, when I feel safe with that person and they feel like my friend, and then they just do small things that they're willing to learn like my love language, and they'll do small things to make me feel special or make me feel loved or like they hear me, that type of thing. So yeah. What about you?
I don't know. I don't
We don't love these men. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, seriously, I don't know how to answer that because I mean, if I think about the last time I was in love, I don't.
Ooh, my camera about to die.
Keep going. Last time you were in love, what?
I mean, I don't know. I have a hard time. There's nothing. Maybe it's cliche, but it's like that million little things adding up, right? So like, it's not like one day I'm like, okay, well now this is it. Like it's more so, okay, like there's all of those small things, like you're saying, like all those small things that adds up.
And I didn't necessarily mean like what they are doing to cause you to be in love.
Yeah.
I mean like, I was looking at my photos. Like, Snapchat's a great way to just look at old memories. And I've noticed like over the years, like I will have a picture where I'm like just looking at them, like looking up at them.
Delete
always
it.
looking up.
Delete it.
Always looking up because they 6 something. But
Delete it.
6'2" with 6'1".
but 6'2", you're 6'4",
They be lying.
or 6'7".
Did you see the
6'9"?
put a thing on her door?
Oh yeah, so she knows if somebody's lying about their height when they come in. I'm gonna do that.
Oh my god, that's amazing
That's
actually.
so funny.
What? That's amazing. I need to do that shit. But no, I noticed like, and I remember what I was feeling in those moments, and it may not have been like a long love, or even it might have even just been like lust, to be honest. Well, no, the ones that I have those kind of pictures with, like I was like, I really felt like I loved that man in the moment, or whatever man it was, and I would just be like, I have like pictures of just like, I'm like, that's how I know I done got fucked up. That's how I know I'm fucked up. Because I'd be looking up at them like, they're my world. And it takes a lot for me to get there. And they're, yeah.
But that's the sweet part though, like when you get to that part, it's just like,
You're my best friend.
yeah, it's just a different level of interaction.
You are my best
Yeah.
fucking friend.
But
I'll tell you everything.
I don't know that there's like a thing, right? It's
Yeah.
more like,
Yeah, you don't even know what's happened until
right,
afterwards.
yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
you feel
Until
it,
you
and
look-
you're just like,
Yeah.
ooh.
you're like, oh damn, I was not
Ooh.
intending for that to happen.
All the TikTok references. But yeah, should we end it on that note since
We
my
can.
camera's about to die?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that was technically the last question.
That's really fun though.
That was the last question too?
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you for coming.
It's
being
so
a
sweet.
part.
Yeah, words of wisdom to close out your video.
Oh my goodness. If anybody's single out there and has a fat check, y'all could hit me up.
Cut that out.
Our Instagrams will be in the bio.
If you love me, let me know. Just kidding.
DM me and make a date.
Yes, DM us if you want to take us out on a date
And make a
and
date.
make a plan.
I'm not gonna message you back a bunch of times.
Because
We're not gonna
I'm
be talking.
single and I'm not really ready to mingle, but I can be convinced.
No, I'm ready.